have my eyes on them. So yeah, of course. Okay, I think we are live now. Let me give you back the host. Okay, there you go. Can you make me go host?
There you go, Lester. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, Mina. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
And I have, is it Laj Nasta? Hello, are you there?
And she's on mute.
Yeah.
Hey, Russ, I'm having problems.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, buenos días.
Buenos dias. Good to see you.
O buenas tardes.
Yeah, buenas tardes. See. And we've got Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how you doing?
Very good. And we've got Myra. Hi, Laj. Can you use your mic, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to get in. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, Myra.
Okay. Let me see if I can come through with the video. My video is not working right.
And I've got someone that just says iPhone. Is there a chance we could get you renamed, please?
Let's see.
Hi, Norma.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you mourning? Wait a minute.
Well, it's always morning for me.
Well, that's good.
Since I've been retired, it's always morning.
Ah, yes. Was my video off that whole time? I apologize. It's good to see you all. We've got Mina and Ken. I have someone named Carol's iPad 2. Are you Carol?
I'm Carol.
Hi, Carol. And I
You
still,
want to just put it to Carol?
oh, that's okay. We know you're Carol.
Nope.
And Myra and Norma
Okay.
and Karen. Let's see. Did I hear from Karen?
No. Hi.
Hi, Karen. How you
Hi.
doing?
Good. Just joined you.
Great to have you here. I'm still looking to hear from Laj.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, very good. Glad to hear you. All right. I always like to make sure everybody's got a mic that works.
Yes.
And I still have one that's just iPhone. We can rename you. And we'd love to hear from you.
I can see you.
I can see you, Myra. I mean, I can see that you're speaking, Myra. I know who you are there.
Okay.
Still looking to hear from this one that just says iPhone.
Yeah. My laptop is out.
Oh, it's okay if you're on an iPhone. There's somebody whose name just says iPhone.
Okay.
Just trying to get that person to identify themselves.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard about last Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, one of our classes got Zoom bombed, so we're just doing a little extra security. And one of the things I need to make sure is I hear from everybody in the class before they start. So especially if I'm going to use a video today.
Let's see if I can make my video come in. There I am.
Hi, Myra. Good to see you. Still looking to hear. That was
Here's
Kath. No, that. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Good to see you.
Good. Thank you. You too.
And still looking to hear from this one that just says iPhone. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Can't change your name.
Hey, while we're taking one more minute to get everyone joining, maybe I could ask you to put in the chat where you're from and if you've been to Mexico. So let's see if you got any folks that have been to Mexico here.
Okay.
So let's see. Lodge is from Austin and Norma's from Houston, and I know Norma wants to go to Mexico. Lodge has not been to Mexico. And Ken is from New York City, been to Mexico. Best Mexican food in New York City is street carts in Queens. I can believe that. Myers from Charlotte. I believe we've been over that ground once before, Myra, because I love Charlotte. That's a great town. Spent some summers there in college. Haven't been to Mexico yet. Good. Sounds like you're thinking about going. Maybe today you'll think about going to Guanajuato. That's where I'm going to go when I get to Mexico.
Okay.
And Mina is from London. Excellent. I love to have somebody from the UK here. Hooray! I love London. I wouldn't mind to wake up tomorrow in London on an overnight flight, but we're going to have to wait a little bit. You haven't been to Mexico, but you love Mexican food. Well, you'll love Mexican food even more after you see what we're going to show you today. And Kathy is from Vermont, has been to Mexico, Puebla, Oaxaca, and Veracruz. Okay, well, Kathy, did you by chance catch the class that we did on foods of Oaxaca? That was, what day did we do foods of Oaxaca? I think that was last Friday. We did food. Yep, last Friday, same time, 4 o'clock. We did foods of Oaxaca. Well, I'm going to share my screen. Glad to have you all here on Friday afternoon. This is the last class for me today.
Me too. No, it's not. I got one in at 7:30.
And we should see something that says foods of
Guanajuato.
Guanajuato. Let me go back and show you that again. Guanajuato is a beautiful city. We did a video, a class that included some video just on Wednesday about Guanajuato. It might be considered the most beautiful city in Mexico, and it's spread over hills. but it also has a particular food cuisine. I'm your guide, Russ Eanes from Harrisonburg, Virginia. I'm a writer, a walker, and a cyclist. I formerly was a book publisher, and when I was a book publisher, I loved to help authors shape their ideas into a book. Love all the energy I get and the wisdom I collect from working with older adults. Get Set Up helps you learn useful things from people like you so you can do wonderful things. So I should say useful skills. We learn from each other in these classes. Ideally, we can see you and your cameras are on. You can request a recording of this class after the class. You email help@getsetup.io. If anyone's joining by live streaming, and we are live streaming today, the best way to participate is to join us and register for a class. Lastly, Get Set Up's not paid to promote any specific products. Our agenda, today we're just going to learn what makes food in Guanajuato unique and different from other places in Mexico. And the reason I've been doing the foods of Oaxaca, foods of Guanajuato, is to demonstrate that there is not just one simple thing called Mexican food, that there are cuisines that are unique to each region. And there's some unique foods that we'll see today in this video by Chasing the Plate. That's the name of the couple that do this. And one of the things that we'll see is Enchiladas Minares, which is enchiladas of the miners. Guanajuato, I'll pull up the map here. You can see Guanajuato is kind of dead center of Mexico. And Guanajuato was settled, it was probably first an indigenous settlement. So there were indigenous people of Mexico lived there. And then Spaniards came and discovered silver. And so there were big silver mines. And I believe at one point in the 17th or 18th century, 40% of the world's silver came from Guanajuato itself. So there were big silver mines, lots of processing of silver. Today, it is just a beautiful city. I don't believe they mine any more silver there. Beautiful, the way they paint the houses and colorful. It's still steep, so you'll see lots of walking up and down. But they also have some unique cuisines. Probably their major economic driver is tourism. If you have any questions during the video today, please feel free to put your question in the chat, and we'll make sure we circle around them to later. And if anything in particular you see today that you want to take note of for discussion, make sure you write that down. I'll make some notes, and we'll talk a bit about this, because there's some unique ways that they fix foods that we may have heard of and think of as Mexican foods, but they have their own twist when they're in Guanajuato. So I should mention that Kathy says that she is from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and she hasn't been to Mexico, but wants to go. Great. I'm planning on going to Guanajuato State next January. So I'm looking forward to my trip, getting out of here when it's a little bit cold after Christmas and spending some time down in Mexico. Now, it can be chilly there too, because I understand that Guanajuato is at 6,000 feet above sea level. So let me pull out of this and bring up our video today, and you should really enjoy this.
Oh my gosh, so you can see what's happening. You've got this crazy chemical reaction happening.
Today we're in Guanajuato, Mexico, and we're here to eat.
We're going into the heart of the local food culture in Guanajuato, and we've got some amazing gems lined up for you.
Guanajuato is a unique city and its food scene is equally distinctive. In this video, we're out to find the best local food and share with you some of Guanajuato's most famous dishes. We eat the city's best tacos de vapor, flavor-packed steamed tacos, attempt to chug an explosive local drink, devour the state's unique pork crackling torta, and dive into a dish which is the personification of comfort food. In this huge Mexico series, we're traveling to the heart of the country's best food and eating where the locals eat. From iconic Mexican dishes to regional specialties, you don't want to miss this series. Get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat. We are very excited to be in Guanajuato for this food video, and we're very excited for a few reasons. One, it's an incredibly beautiful city, so it's a lovely place to be. But number two is we've been researching all around town, getting to the heart of the food culture here, and we have found some absolute gems to show you in this video. So let's get eating.
We're starting this Guanajuato street food tour with tacos de vapor. Not a taco that we've shown you in this Mexico series so far, but one of our favorites. Now this is the stall right here, right behind me, but there's a really huge line, so let's go and get in the line. Tacos de vapor are steamed tacos. So the tortillas are filled with a pre-cooked filling. These guys do both vegetarian and meat options. And we ate here a couple of days ago, and we very quickly realized why. This place is always teeming with locals because the tacos are really, really good. We're getting closer to the front. Buenos días, amigos. Cuatro tacos, por favor. Sí, para aquí. Dos costillas de res, una papa, una queso, por favor. All right, so behind the guys there, you can see the tacos steaming away in these big pots. So I ordered 4. I've got costilla de res, which is a beef rib, and then a potato one and a cheese one. And then there's this whole lineup of fresh and pickled vegetables and also salsas. So I'm going to load my plate up. So we've got some fresh cabbage and some onion. Oh no, that's red cabbage, and also some carrot. And then what else have we got in here? Some matchstick jicama, which is like Mexican turnip. So pile that on as well. Wow, it's gonna be nice and fresh, and the fresh vegetables will add a heap of crunch. And then we've got like 4 different types of salsas, so red salsas and green salsas. I'm gonna go for the green salsa. Whoa, look at that. Looks like it's gonna be pretty spicy, so I'm just gonna pour that all over the top. Whoa, yeah. Load it up, and then we've got some wedges of lime, so add those to the plate. All right, let's go and join the crowd over there and grab a seat. Check out my plate. It is pretty as a picture. So I ordered 2 beef rib tacos, so you can see in there the beef rib, and then I went with 1 cheese and 1 potato. I thought that beef, potato and cheese would be a pretty epic combo. And then I chucked a whole lot of those fresh vegetables on top. So there's cabbage, there's carrot, and then there's jicama, and then sloshed all of that green salsa over the top as well. So what I'm going to do is just give it this pile of food a big squeeze of lime. I love how all of the condiments there, very common in Mexico, are just free for all. So I can go back now if I don't think that the salsa is enough, or I don't have enough vegetables. It's a really neat way of eating. All right, so this is the beef rib, and I'm going to make sure I've got heaps of salsa on there. Oh yeah, that is really delicious. What I love about tacos de vapor is that it's real comfort food. So the tortillas have been steaming away. They sort of get a little bit greasy from the oil coming out of the filling, and they get very moist because of the steaming process, obviously. The meat in there is really moist and tender, and it's got a lot of flavor. Let's go for another bite. Oh yeah. I got heaps more cabbage and salsa in that mouthful, and it just took it to the next level. Really crunchy and fresh, and that salsa's just got the perfect heat for me. It's a little bit spicy, really tingly on my tongue. So good. All right, cheese and potato. Whoa. Get a ton of that cabbage on there as well. It's such a huge mouthful. Oh, cheese and potato, epic combo. The cheese is very creamy and the potato is so soft. I love how the tortillas, I think, must be covered in a chili sauce as well when they're steaming away, because you can see here it's got a glistening of sort of chili oil over the top of it. And I just love this type of eating. surrounded by people just tucking into their plates of tacos de vapor. Really local spot, and the guys are really friendly as well. Muchas gracias, amigos. 4 tacos, por favor. Muchas gracias. Oh, es muy rico.
We're all forgetting all over the cities we visit to find the best food for you guys. So we love getting to the heart of it. And often in the big cities, that means a lot of walking and buses and stuff, which is really fun. However, a city like Guanajuato can be brilliant because it's a very small, very quaint, pretty town, and we can just walk everywhere very quickly. So we're only a couple of minutes from the first stop and we're already at our second stop.
Our next street food is a rotisserie chicken torta. We ate this yesterday, and the second we finished our first bite, both Thomas and I looked at one another and we were like, we have to include this. It is simply incredible. Let's go and order. Hola, buenos días, amigos. Dos pollo torta, por favor. Muchas gracias. Con todo, por favor. So 2 rotisserie chicken tortas with everything are on the go. And you can see over there, actually, behind the guys, all the chickens on the spit and slowly turning. Rotisserie chicken is one of my favorite things to eat. This is going to be real good.
We've been in Mexico for almost 2 months now, and we have really got into tortas while we've been here. We've been trying a huge range of them. Sheena already said we had this one yesterday in our research for this video, and it went straight to the top 3 list. It is an insane torta. So it's got roast chicken, which is not like any torta we've seen while we've been here. So chicken's off that rotisserie, and then they cut up the roast chicken, they chuck it on the hot plate, they add cheese and corn and let that cook away on the hot plate and dump it all on the roll, so it's just a nice white roll, and then that gets covered with vegetables. So what have we got in there? We've got some tomato, we've got some fresh onion, we've got some pickled jalapenos, you can see a whole lot of mustard, we've got a whole lot of mayonnaise, tomato, I think I already said that, avocado, you can see all the corn lined up in there as well. Oh, and I can see some mushrooms sticking out. I think they must have gone on the hot plate too. Whoa, and it is seriously hefty. Oh man. Oh, it is delicious. The chicken, perfectly roasted, not dried out at all, has a lot of flavor, it's beautifully seasoned, and the torta itself, oh man, the bun is so good. Oh, that was a perfect mouthful. Perfect mouthful. The juicy chicken, and then I've got the corn, so you've got little bursts of sweetness from the corn. There's a tiny bit of spice from the jalapeno, but it's very mild. I think I'm only getting a little bit of the runoff, the vinegar that they've been pickled in. I'm getting a nice little tingle from that. The onion. Look at the bun. So it's been crisped up on that hot plate, so you've got a beautiful little crunch where it's toasted, but it's only just toasted, so the inside's still really fluffy. This is incredibly well put together. Such a good find. This place is an absolute winner, and such a neat little restaurant. Look how small it is. So you're seeing pretty much the entirety of the restaurant. So this is the width of the place. The guys are going crazy making these tortas. The chickens are all there, which smell delicious. I mean, roast chicken. Is there a better smell in the world? Not too many, I don't think. Absolutely brilliant torta. The fact this town is small gets even better now. So the torta place is right there. Our next stop is right here on this bridge, and this is a really neat little Neves spot. So ice cream, perfect cool down on a nice hot day here in Guanajuato.
Neves is hand-churned water-based ice cream. It's one of our favorite sweet treats to eat when we're here in Mexico. And this lady's got so many different flavors. Hola, buenas tardes, señora. ¿Cómo estás? Bien. Una grande, por favor.
What's really neat about this particular stall is it's right here on a bridge. So there's no power, but always with these Neves stands, they use these half barrels, which they fill with ice and salt to make saltwater ice. So it's very cold, and that's how they keep the Neves or the ice cream chilled. And I love this one because it is literally right on a bridge with the most incredible view to eat your neves with.
Sí, limón y... Oh. Decisions. Carlotta, por favor. Gracias. Hasta luego.
We've gone with a full-on citrus hit here. So down below we've got lime. You can see that beautiful green color in there. And at the top, this is a really interesting one. So this is the one we really wanted to show you. It's called Carlotta. So this is a, just try and spoon some out. This is a Mexican dessert, but this is the ice cream version of the dessert. So they've taken the dessert, made it into ice cream form. It's got Maria biscuits in it, which are a very plain biscuit here, just a sort of vanilla style biscuit. It's got lots of lime in it, condensed milk. It's so refreshing. Very sweet from the condensed milk, very strong with the lime, so it's got a beautiful citrus hit. And I like the little biscuit sort of cakey bits that are all through it. Really good. I really like this neves stand because it's sitting right on this bridge. And check it, actually come up here, let's check this out. So this is how beautiful Guanajuato is. Everywhere you look, you've got these beautiful visuals because all these colorful houses are built up on the hills. You've got churches dotted around. It's an incredibly pretty city, and it's an old mining town. So silver was mined here, so it was incredibly wealthy, very wealthy, and you can tell from the buildings. So around town there are some stunning buildings. It is just the most lovely place to be, and a great place to enjoy some ice cream.
Walking around Guanajuato makes me happy because it's such a colorful place. Just looking around me, I can see blue, pink, green, yellow, peach, purple, hot pink buildings. It's a really vibrant, fun place to explore. Now, our next few street foods are real Guanajuato classics. So foods that are really popular in the state and that you can often only find in the state. So just up ahead is our first one. It's called a guacamaya, which is a type of torta. Now, I know we had a torta before, but this one is very different. It's very unique, and it's made up of chicharron, which is pork skin. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, una guacamaya, por favor, ¿sí?
Normalita con aguacate o le pongo huevo cocido.
Aguacate y
Chicharrón.
Chicharrón, sí. Gracias. Sí, sí, con todo. Muchas gracias. The lovely gentleman here just asked me if I wanted a bit of a taste of the chicharron with the salsa. Muchas gracias, señor. So look at this. So this is the chicharron. Chicharron is fried pork skin, and it's got a ton of the salsa on top. Sí, gracias. Wow. All right, so we've got aguacate, which is avocado. We've got the chicharron, and then a ton of the salsa on the top. So it's a red salsa. This is so unique. He's also popping a bit of lime over there. I've never seen a torta like this. Wow. Perfecto. That Guacamaya stall was so wicked. He's got these giant pieces of chicharron, the fried pork skin. And all he did was he just broke off pieces from those giant chunks or shards of chicharron and stuffed them into the bun. The bun already had aguacate, so avocado inside, and then he sloshed a whole lot of salsa over the top. It's quite a chunky salsa. There's tomato, chili, onion, and I can see some coriander. I already had a taste of the sample of chicharron that he gave me, and it is extremely crunchy. As I was saying, guacamayas are a really quintessential street food from Guanajuato, and the name Guacamaya actually translates to macaw, so the bird. And all I can think is maybe it alludes to the fact that it's really colourful, and so like macaws are very colourful, and this torta is very colourful, so maybe that's why it's called a guacamaya. If it's not, if you're a Mexican viewer and you know the meaning behind the name of this torta, let us know in the comments below. But I think it's time to eat. What I'm going to do is try and make it a little bit more manageable and sort of give it a bit of a smush so that the chicharron crunch down a bit. They've already soaked up a bit of the salsa, so they're sort of a little bit soft. Oh yeah. But not so soft that they've lost their crunch. And that salsa is hot. It's got a really sharp chili kick. And that chicharron is beautifully crunchy. There's something like 6 layers of chicharron in this torta. It is so insane. Whoa, that mouthful of chicharron I got, it already started to soak up a lot of the salsa, so it's gone a little bit chewy and soft, and it's really good. I love this salsa because it is so vibrant. It's zingy, it's spicy, it's fresh. It works perfectly with the chicharron because it cuts through the fattiness of the pork skin. This is such a unique Guanajuato snack. Our next Guanajuato street food is a drink, and it's just mere moments away, and we're just winding our way through this colourful alleyway to get to the next spot. So the drink is called cebadina. It's a very unique drink, but the place that we're having it is also very unique. It's in a hardware store. We were really desperate to share cebadina with you in this video, but in all the research I was doing before we arrived in Guanajuato, I couldn't find a single place that sold it until yesterday. We saw a man walking down the street drinking a cebadina, and I literally chased him down the street and asked him where he got his drink from, and he led us to this little stall outside this hardware shop. So that's the cebadina right here. Let's go and grab one. Hola, buenas tardes. Una cebadina, por favor. So the trick with cebadina is you have to be really quick. So she's filled up the glass, and now she's popping in some baking soda. Muchas gracias. And what happens is it basically is like when you make a volcano in school and you use vinegar and baking soda, because this drink has got pineapple vinegar in it, and you can see it's starting to bubble and froth. Oh my gosh, so you can see what's happening. You've got this crazy chemical reaction happening. Holy moly, it is all over my face and all down my hands, but it is a delicious mess. So see what I mean when you've got to be quick? And basically the baking soda gets added, oh excuse me, muchas gracias. I think this happens a lot. My friend here has just pulled out his mop and he's just mopping up the pavement outside the stall. The mop's stained bright red. This is a crazy drink. So it's got pineapple vinegar, it's got Jamaica, which is hibiscus, which explains its colour, and I believe it's also got some tamarind water, and it's supposed to be really good for your digestion. And it is a really beautiful drink. It's really refreshing. Bubbly, sweet, really unique and delicious.
We're now down in the tunnels of Guanajuato to get to the next restaurant, and this is an incredible complex of tunnels underneath the town. Now, the next dish we're having is called Miner's Enchilada, so that goes back to the fact that this city was sort of born on silver mining. But these tunnels, while you think they must be related to the mining, they're not actually. The first tunnel they built down here was to divert the Guanajuato River, which kept flooding the town. That tunnel's now not used for the river, it's now used for traffic, and they after that they built a whole lot more tunnels. So a very interesting thing about the city is there's tunnels all underground, and a lot of them, I mean, you've got a big intersection here underground, so to get to some places you have to go through these incredible tunnels that run all under the city, and they can be very handy because this is a very hilly city, so sometimes it's a lot easier to go through the hill rather than over it to get to your next place. But let's go and get the Miner's Enchiladas now.
Enchiladas Mineras is another one of Guanajuato's famous dishes. We've come to a little fonda, a small family business. We've heard that this place is a really great version.
This dish is called Enchiladas Mineras because this is the plate of food that the miners used to tuck into after a hard day's work. And I can see why they'd want to tuck into this plate of food, because it looks absolutely incredible. Doña Lupe, who is cooking the enchiladas up at the front of the restaurant, is cooking up a storm. So what she's doing is she's grabbing the tortillas, she's dipping them into a bucket of a guajillo chili sauce, and then chucking them into a square pan, which has got a lot of lard in there. The tortillas are sort of frying up, then she's sticking on some ranchero cheese, and then there's potatoes, there's carrots, there's I think onions piled onto the enchiladas once they've been folded up, and then you've got this spectacular plate of food. So we've got the Enchiladas Pasta with chicken. So you can see here a big chunk of chicken. I've got a wing and also a thigh. The chicken was already pre-cooked, so it's just been added along to the plate, and then you've got chunks of this ranchero cheese on the top, and then the enchiladas, which have been bathed in that chili sauce, sitting on the bottom there. Tons of potato and carrot, as well as a bit of lettuce. If you watched our last video, which was set in Morelia in the state of Michoacan, we ate a dish there called Enchiladas Placeras, and this dish is very similar to that. So let's see if it tastes similar at all. It does taste very similar to the one that we ate in Morelia. It's just as tasty. It's really hearty food. The enchiladas have a lot of flavour. I got a whole heap of enchiladas in that mouthful. Very flavoursome with that chili sauce, and you can really taste that lard that it's been cooked in. I want to get into this chicken here, so I'm just going to grab this wing. It's so tender, very, very well seasoned, so it's got a ton of flavour. This is comfort food. It's really satisfying, it's hearty, the potatoes are really creamy. That guajillo chili sauce packs a punch. It's a beautiful, sort of subtle chili flavour. It doesn't have a lot of spice, but it's delicious.
Good afternoon, Hiroko. Hi, Wanda. Good to see you again. Well, that was a tasty treat. So much to think about. I'll tell you what my favorites were, but I want to hear if anyone else would like to tell me about what your favorite was.
Oh, this was great. This was the best class ever. I like the enchiladas at the end.
I did too. You know, I watched the way she was making that. And if anybody wants to watch this again, I can send you the link. It was worth it just the way she made those enchiladas. So she's got, probably like a 6-inch corn tortilla. And she dips it into this chili sauce, throws that into that sort of pot that's kind of remind me of a very wide wok. And with her hands, she's kind of doing everything. And I'm told that's how they do it. You'll see everything done with hands on these hot griddles. And then they throw in a little bit of that farmer's cheese, and then they flip it in half, and that is the enchilada. And then, and a lot of these, same thing with the tacos de vapor that they're having at the beginning. That's kind of a foundational, foundational food that then they put all the vegetables and meat and everything on top of. And that's, I think was similar when we were watching the foods of Oaxaca, same kind of concept that you sort of, we tend to think of a tortilla or something as kind of like the main thing, but they have them small, and they just kind of pile the other stuff on top of that in your plate. You just kind of eat it, mix it up, and eat it with a spoon. I like that chili sauce she's got there. They had that farmer's cheese, and it's kind of a flaky stuff. Unless you've seen it or used it here, we sometimes eat with it. It has a consistency that's not like other cheeses, because it's not cured very long, and it also doesn't melt real fast. So it's kind of like a topping. And so anyway, I'm with you, Norma. I can't wait to have one of those. I am going to Guanajuato, and I'm going to have a enchiladas minares. Anybody else had a food there that you like the best?
Ice cream.
Oh yes, the ice cream. That was a nieves. I thought it was cool. They showed you how they make that. And actually in the Foods of Oaxaca, they did the same kind of similar thing. So if you've ever done homemade ice cream in an ice cream maker where you crank it, what you have in the outer crate or barrel, is a mixture of water, ice, and salt, so that it can get lower than freezing temperature out there. And when you're spinning an ice cream maker, you're actually just turning it to get the ice cream that's inside the drum to be in contact with the cold temperatures of the water and ice that are outside of it. And they're doing the same thing. They just spin it by hand inside these barrels, and then they've got the drum inside of there. And I thought it was kind of cool the way they said they made that one with. Now the other was I think the lime flavored was kind of an ice, so that was a water base, but it sounded like the ice cream they made with milk, and then they crumbled up some local cookies, which I thought was kind of an interesting idea. Threw that in there. I really liked that. I also liked the way they could sit and had a great view of the city from there. Wouldn't you love a job where you could just, travel and just, you spend one day trying all the dishes and decide which one you want to video, and then the next day you go back and you video them. That's a great job. The one thing there that I watched, it looked good, but didn't feel drawn to eat it, was the chicharron, which was the stuff made with what chicharron is, the fried pig skin. Guacamaya, I think, was the dish. Anybody tried that or had it? Maybe you can correct me. I know I've had something similar to that in Great Britain, of all places. The other thing that I took a time to research this was they went and they said they were trying to find a torta. And of course, that kind of got me, because torta is like in Spain, or Italy, I think that's a cake. And in Mexico, a torta is a sandwich, and it's just basic. And if you've been to Spain, it's very similar to the bocadillo in Spain, which is basically just a kind of like a small baguette, maybe a little wider than a baguette, sliced. And apparently what the Mexican torta needs to have inside is chicken. And something was kind of cool. I just spied for 1 second while the guy behind the counter was putting together that torta. He had half of an avocado, and he was just taking a knife and he was just dipping it in there, and he was kind of applying it, which I thought was a cool way of doing it. We tend to think you got to open the avocado and scoop everything out and maybe make guacamole or whatever. He was just kind of using it as a spread, which I thought was kind of cool. That's the way I like to eat avocado, is almost like a spread. But yeah, that was what the torta was, which also made me wonder if tortilla comes from that, if that a little bread. I'm going to have to research the etymology of that. The other thing that was interesting was those tacos de vapor. So again, we tend to think of tacos as crispy things, and the tacos de vapor were not crispy at all. They actually were kind of a little bit like the enchiladas minares, in that they were really moist and very soft and covered with various oils or sauces. It looked really good. Anybody else? Any more comments about, and of course, lime juice on top. Can't be Mexican without lime juice.
Well, my only concern is I like the street vendors, and through my UN work, I went Thailand and also Latin America. But one day, I nearly died by eating those street vendors' food in Lima, and I was hospitalized and had hard time repatriated back to the United States. And local people are immune to all those stuff. But at this point, I'm a bit cautious because that was a very hard experience for me. Normally, I have a very good stomach. I can eat just about anything in the United States or wherever. But that time, I was very, very ill. And I like street vendors' food. Very delicious, very tempting, but
I was actually wondering about that. I think you need to be cautious what you're buying and how it's being handled. I know when my wife and I were in Colombia, and we would often pick up these dishes, just a plastic cup with fruit. And we would always make sure the fruit had no skin on it. And then we would eat it with a toothpick so that we weren't handling it with our own hands, because we couldn't be sure it was on our own hands, actually. So yeah. Thanks for that observation, Hiroko. Any more comments? Anything else you saw there that looked especially delicious? I like to make Mexican food myself. We make a lot in our house, and we're experimenting with different types of making it, not the same old dull ways that we think. Part of what I want to show you today in this was a sense that there are multiple Mexican cuisines. A lot of things kind of at the heart of it. They've got tortillas, and they've got sauces, and they've got chicken and avocado and lime. But the way they make these all differently in each unique region, I'm fascinated with. Anybody else got an observation or comment? Well, next week we've got a holiday Monday, so I won't be doing any classes, and I'll be away part of the rest of next week. But I do have a couple classes I want to draw your attention to next week. One is on Tuesday evening. We've got Melinda, who is a Get Set Up learner, who is going to talk to us all about home exchange. So she's been involved and has done lots of these home exchanges where basically an organization you join, and you find another family or person you'd like to exchange homes with, and it's for $100, $150 a year. You can basically go stay in someone's apartment for a longer time. So it's a really fascinating thing, and we'll be doing that 7:00 Tuesday evening. So I really want to invite you to come and learn more about that. Then Wednesday evening, I will be repeating again on my recurring classes called When Can We Go Where, which is about how travel is opening up post-pandemic. So if you want to get the latest ideas of where you might be able to go, when you can go there, what the restrictions might be. And I'm following that intently because I am considering going to Italy in September. So I want to know what kind of requirements do I have to go there. So come and join us on Wednesday evening. And of course, Wednesday afternoon at 2:30, I'll be talking about how to pack a carry-on bag for a 2-week trip. We had a great time today in our class doing 10 top travel tips. And one of them, of course, was to take a carry-on. Don't check a bag when you're going somewhere. It's okay to check it on the way back. If it's late, doesn't make it, you're going home. Well, I want to thank all of you for being here. I hope you had a good time watching about the foods of Guanajuato. And some of you might have been in the class the other day when we actually did a tour of Guanajuato. Beautiful city, great place to visit. I hope to go there next year. You all have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week in a class.
Thank you.
Yep. So long.
Bye. Have a good weekend, everybody.
So long.